Hey guys, you know the drill. Raise your hand if you would like to be on camera and microphone. Thank you.
So, guys,
Hello. Good morning.
it is morning here.
Yes,
Morning.
we do appreciate it.
No
Good
worries.
morning.
Waiting on Daniel and Adam to show up. And that's a special
Adam's
surprise
coming.
because Adam doesn't ever join these, so that'll be
Yeah,
fun.
That's grand. I can get good advice from three angles.
100%.
Lovely.
It's
Wow,
like
did you
Three
just say that you
Stooges.
get
You've got
good
like the
advice from me?
super nerd, you've got the caveman, and then you've got the I guess our guinea pig.
Oh, I love the regular Monday guy. He's fantastic.
I'm actually kind of
I
used
must.
to it because my nutrition coach and strongman coach are all in the UK.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
interesting. What
I'm used
people you've met on the way?
I'm used to having, yeah, I've had my last nutrition coach was all the way in Australia, so like I've had to like makes you really aware of time zones.
Gosh. Interesting. So is it just people that you connected with on a personal level that made you
Um,
use them over others more local?
there's no one local. There's
There is no one.
there's no one local. So it's especially like with a niche like professional strongman, it's hard to find something at the level we need. So like locally there's not I mean there's no real resources outside of like I drive 45 minutes one way for my sports PT. I drive an hour one way for my sports massage. And it sucks, but like I'm happy to get the level of care that I want. So I have no problem, going across the globe for that nutrition that and Tom over at Winning Strength in Southampton in the UK. It's not like he's refining my form all the time, right? Like he actually like a lot of strongman movements, he's actually learning from me and how I move. But it's his brain power to my workhorse that complements it really well. So a lot of the stuff is like fine tuning on little things like assistance movements, or we notice hip shift in my squat and he adjusts some of my assistance work to bring back my hips from shifting right to bring them back to center. Typically it's some sort of adductor or glute work that we need. So it's things like that that we get with as a high level athlete with a coach, where the coaching is a little different. It's not overhauling. It's this micro adjustments because it's a constant battle of 1%, right? So um, the nutrition coach as well. It's I can't. My job is to focus on horsepower. If I have to think about my meal plan and what I'm eating, uh, it takes away from, for me at least, some people, like nutritionists, like that shit. I don't like to think about what I have to eat. I want to be able to whip it up and go execute. So having that plan where I'm executing and giving them information on how I feel and going off of how I feel, allowing them to do their job, is what makes a really good combination. And, not everyone meshes with a coach. I've outgrown coaches. I've had personal training clients in the past where we get 3 months, 6 months in, and they're like, I think I can do this on my own. And a lot of trainers are like, well, shit. And I was actually proud, that they're able to go and out into the gym world and be confident and do it on their own and do the movements successfully. And they're always so grateful. So it's the kind of the same thing. Like I will, as long as I'm competing, I've always run with a coach. That's just the nature of the beast because we all have our roles, and my role is to execute. Tom's role is to program, and my nutrition coach Mike's role is to be the brain strategy behind my weight cuts are getting pretty big now, so that's where I really rely on him so we can do it safely and not lose too much horsepower on the day of. So it's you find a coach you mesh with and you're making progress with, stick with us. We're trying to take you to the Super Bowl, man, whatever that is for you.
Wow. I can definitely say you guys are doing something because as I said 2 years, I'm still here. Hello, Daniel.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hello, Ben. And I don't know if anyone saw it. This is still Nick's show, and we're going to let him run it. But Mr. Bornstein is in town and didn't want to miss this from his hotel room in LA because we have
Hello,
meetings
hello.
with Arnold.
Okay.
What a good man.
So you
Well
guys
done.
get the whole experience, but you're really here for Nick.
This is a show of solidarity of all of us getting up at 5 a.m. at LA time to go hang out because why not?
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
One of the
We
weirdest
appreciate all of
things
you
about
guys.
LA was nothing was happening. It was like a ghost town at like 10 a.m. when we were in the Uber. I was like, what is everyone doing?
No one's working. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one works. No one has
10
jobs.
a.m. is like when you see people leaving yoga and juice places, maybe. Do you guys have any questions?
I think I asked mine.
Fire away.
Anyone?
Training questions.
And as people are joining, remember if you raise your hand, Noah can add you to the panel so you can be on camera.
Ben, I got corrected because you're British by Noah that he doesn't know what the Super Bowl is, but Noah fails to realize that we now have an NFL game every year in the UK. So I'm going to argue
Also,
he probably knows what the Super Bowl
also, I'm very aware of the Super Bowl. I've supported the Vikings, God help me, for about 10 years.
Wow, that's brutal.
It is because one year some friends of mine decided, hey, we should have a Super Bowl party. And I went, that's fantastic. Why not? I'm always down for beer and pizza. And that's pretty much what that was. We decided to pick a team at the start of the season. And I said, hey, purple is a great color. Vikings are cool. They'll do. And I've been suffering ever since. So here we are.
At least you can't be called a bandwagon for picking a winning team. You know what I mean?
Never. I am nothing if not committed.
The UK needs to field a national team called the Redcoats. That was Noah's input.
I'm in. I'll play center.
Anybody have questions, or should Noah just start playing these form check videos?
I think we had some. I think we had some hands.
We got one.
Let's hear them. Matt.
Yeah, I was just going through the I just came off the Rise of the Machines, which was high rep, low weight. And now I just started I went back to the 4-day foundation, split higher lower. And when I was doing curls, I was doing 30-pound dumbbells and I had no problem going to 20. And so my sets were supposed to be 8, 10, 10. And so for the 10 rep weight, I was like, well, I can go up a lot. I went up to 40 and I could barely get 4. So I was like, what's going on here? Why can I do high weight, low reps, but I can't do high weight, sorry, opposite. High reps, low weight. But for whatever reason now I'm struggling on high weight with the lower reps. And I
So
don't know if it's just because I'm coming off that training of 5 reps of 20 or what.
you did a set of 20 right before you went up in weight, right?
No, I actually did the set of I did a set of 8 with 40 and I could barely do it. And so when I went to 10, I dropped down, I think 5 pounds,
Okay.
and I had no problem doing 20. So I was like,
How long are you like kind of resting between sets?
I think that's a 2 minute
Okay.
rest.
So, Adam, feel free to chime in here, but so what I would do for something like that is, so if you're failing, your first set is you're getting, the prescribed reps and it's really, really hard. What I've personally done in the past is take the next set and do what you can at the same weight, then immediately make the 5 pound drop and finish the set.
Okay.
So you're getting like you're still getting the progressive overload, right? Because you're doing more at that weight than you've previously done in the past. So it's just a very simple solution that doesn't require much thinking. It's like, okay, I've gotten a 4. I'm at a 10 out of 10 effort, drop weight, immediately grab the 35s and finish out the set. And if by the start of the next set, you can still get 4 reps with the 8 or the 40 pounds, do the same thing. Because by, week 4, odds are you're going to be getting 5, 6 on that second set with the 40s. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I was just curious if that 5 reps of 20 somehow trains the body to only lift, you know, lower weight, higher reps, but it sounds like it doesn't work that
No,
way.
I mean there's something to be said about the muscular endurance with that stuff and that super high volume. It's great like work capacity, um, but your strength, like the actual strength and building um, muscle density, if you will, lies within those lower rep ranges, right? So you see a lot of bodybuilders doing a ton of reps and getting the growth, whereas you see a lot of strength athletes. It's way more common for us. We have those hypertrophy sets, but we also have a lot of the 3, the 5, the 6, the 8, sub 10 at high effort to build that strength, right? So you'll see us do things like speed work. So you have power and speed. They coexist. You can't have one without the other. Fun fact, powerlifting is actually the wrong name for the sport. It should be called strength lifting because they're lifting maximal weight. There's no speed happening. It's all strength. So what you're doing it by dropping that lowers, you're ingraining that strength, that power on demand, I like to call it, under fatigue. So it does the number, don't get the number out of your head, and I want you to focus on the effort.
Okay.
So I don't care if you have to drop weight mid set till who knows, a year from now, you're doing the entire thing. You can run it back a year from now. Those programs are always there. You can run it back a year from now and you're crushing the 40s.
Perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Keep in mind that Rise of Machines is Arnold's current program, right? So Arnold is much more just trying to maintain muscle, be able to push himself near failure without using heavier weights because he's not allowed to anymore because of his heart. So you're not training yourself per se to only be able to lift 20 pounds, or to do 20 reps. But if you're doing a 20 rep set, you're getting better at using a weight that you could do for 20 reps. You're not maximizing your strength, right? You're not progressing yourself. You're progressing the muscular endurance that's involved. So it's just a different approach, right? Because you can build muscle at a lower weight or a heavier weight. The key is, are you pushing near failure? And most people, when we talk about the first set mindset, but like most people truly don't understand that if you're not near failure, right, you're not achieving those reps that truly matter most. But from a strength standpoint, you're progressing yourself to get stronger every time. And strength is a byproduct, as Nick was saying, of many different things, right? Everyone's like, oh, I just need to lift heavier and heavier and heavier. But, right, if you can't lift in the bottom range of motion or in the top range of motion, if you have what I would call breaks on your movement patterns, where there's a weakness that fundamentally prevents you from moving a weight, especially on a squat or a deadlift, you have to strengthen that. It's why you train at different percentages so you don't completely burn yourself out, right? When Ketch was building up to 600 pounds, he wasn't lifting near 600 all the time. This is what Nick and I have been trying to get him to do for God knows how long, right? People misunderstand how much you do not train anywhere near 100% when you try to peak. And then there's different things like Catch has been working on doing holds in the bottom position, the weak position, and like have holding for 3 seconds. And then there's speed work where you're moving as quickly as possible, right? So building strength is a byproduct of so many different aspects. But yeah, when you get in the groove of just cranking out 20 reps, you're just not maximizing strength. And again, that's a very specific program. And what Nic is also describing, I should mention, is really how drop sets should be done. Because drop sets have an ideal amount of reps. Remember, the reps are a target idea. But the idea of a drop set is that, you're pushing your failure. A lot of people will do a drop set where it's like, I see I got to do 8 and I got to do 8. So they'll pick up like a 40-pound dumbbell and they'll drop to like 20 or 25. And they took such a big drop that you go from like eking out those last couple reps in that first set of 8 and then doing a drop set, and then you're suddenly just humming through the reps like it's nothing. Think about it, that doesn't make sense, right? So what Nic is prescribing is really a way to make sure that you're maximizing the intensity, getting you stronger while still trying to fight against that fatigue. Because remember, at some point, fatigue catches up with you, and then the fatigue is eating away at the intensity. The more you accumulate fatigue, right, the harder it is to push intensity, which is why what we're testing out with Ketchel right here is how do you build the capacity to maintain intensity as right you manage or accumulate more fatigue.
Great.
Who else had a hand up? Thank you, Matt. Emmanuel.
Okay.
Kevin, we'll get you next.
Okay. Last week, I finished a program called Foundation Repeat Starting from Scratch, and then I'm doing the next level bodyweight version. And when I like see like one of the exercises that I got that's going on with my head is like the specific equipment that I don't have. Like, I mostly work out at home, and and for example, I had to do chin-ups, but like when I read like Adam's like article, um about doing like changing from body weight exercise to dumbbell exercise, which I did like last week, but the problem is, like, if I'm working at home, how am I supposed to like find a body weight exercise that is like similar to the exercise that was on the program?
I got you. I can handle this, guys. And Emmanuel, so there's one more thing I want to tell you first, okay? And I mean this as total motivation. I saw you in tall deadlift over 300 pounds. I need you to be in the intermediate programs now. There's no more starting from scratch when you can deadlift that much. So
So
we're gonna increase your difficulty level immediately to intermediate.
do I have to change the program to immediate?
Intermediate, and I would do the intermediate body weight foundation because you deadlift way too much to be at the beginner level anymore. Okay. So that's first. And then second, so when you have a chin up, I'm looking around my room and I'm limited in where I can go without waking up my children. But when you have a chin up and you can't do it, I want you to do an inverted row, which I
Okay.
don't have a table strong enough in this room, but I do have a doorway. So I'll show you really fast. See the doorway to my bathroom right here?
Okay. Okay.
And the further you put your feet out away from you, the more angle or less angle you create, the more
Okay.
you'll get.
So you can do those also under a really sturdy table or a counter where you would hold on to the counter or the table and lay on the ground and pull yourself up.
Okay.
So you can do them. We've seen Arnold do them when we're like out and waiting for a street light, just holding on to a street light and rowing
Okay.
toward it. One thing I want people to remember, because we get this question all the time, like, I can't do inverted rows, I don't have equipment. You can literally do a row on anything that you can put your hands on.
Okay.
So you just want to get that full flex and stretch through this muscle and make sure when
Okay.
you get all the way back, you feel that.
Okay.
Okay.
Like,
So
like,
for now, switch the chin ups, and that is a swap for your chin ups. Switch the chin ups to those, and
to inverted row.
then go and that will be an option when you click the arrows for the swap button. Eventually I do want you to get a cheap chin up bar. They make chin up bars that go in the doorway that you don't even have to screw in, that are like $30,
I
because we
literally
do want you to learn those.
military.
Okay.
But for now, just do the inverted rows, and it's time for you to be in the intermediate foundation body weight. Okay.
Like, should I like right now, like I'm doing the like next level body weight starts from scratch like program, but like should I switch it to immediate program right now? Like what is it called?
Yes. Yeah. I don't want you to see starting from scratch on your program anymore. It's time for you to this is one time Adam and I will say it's time to program hop, because you're not a
Okay.
beginner anymore. Okay.
Okay. So I had to go to immediate level now. Now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Change
stronger
it
than
to
you think.
intermediate.
You're
Okay.
stronger
Okay.
than you
Thank you,
think,
Daniel.
and it's a good thing.
Yeah, congratulations, but you're definitely not a beginner anymore.
So I'm now immediate level now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Emmanuel. Kevin.
Hey all, thanks for hosting this. I just got done my workout, as you can see, in the gym still. I have a question about warm-ups. As I've gotten older, I've realized the importance of doing them. My problem is most of the time I work out in a place that I can't get into even in the morning till like 5:30 in the morning, and then I just barely have enough time to get to work out, get changed, and get to where I need to be on time. I was curious what the time frame is for warm-ups to still be effective. For instance, could I get up a little earlier, do the 3 sets of 10 of all the warm-ups at home, then drive the 35 minutes to get here? Or should I try to get it closer? Like, does the time frame matter, you know, for something like that?
I mean, 35 minutes is a pretty big, you
Yeah.
know, gap from doing all your movements to then getting under
Okay.
moving. What you could do is, I don't know what your warm up regimen would, a warm up is very personalized, person to person. There are some movements that are kind of one size fits all beneficial, you know what I mean? But you might have a wonky knee, elbow, whatever that needs a little more attention because it's your body. So what I've done, because I used to do the same thing. I had about a 2 hour commute when I was iron working because of where the structure was, and from the time frame from which I drove after work to then go work out, sitting in rush hour traffic. I would actually do certain things like in the car, right? Like my Don Tignes, some of my you know bicep stretches and shoulder stretches. I would kind of do all these little ones that I could to cut down once I got there. So I'd have to shower before I work out because I'd have rust and steel all over my body. And then I'd get out of the shower and do my big stuff, my plyometrics, my rolling out, all the dynamic stretches and my lower body stretches. But what you could do essentially is you could combine getting under the bar with some of your warm-ups. So what I mean by that is you get to the gym, say let's just say it's a squat day for shits and giggles. You get under the bar, you start doing empty bar squats, full range of motion. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to add like a 10 count eccentric with that empty bar
Okay.
all the way down. And I want you to hold the bottom for about 3 to 5 seconds. Kind of sit there, let that quad get stretched out, things like that, and then come back up. Not explosive, in a nice pace. And then you can do like 3 sets of that. And I promise you, you're gonna feel some sort of blood flow pump, things of that nature. So you can take the bar in a pinch and use that in a method to where it gets you that blood flow, that activation. Because what a lot of people don't realize is warm up's not just for your muscles. Warm up is also a huge factor in your nervous system. So I'm sure that you've gotten underweight and you're like, holy fuck, this is heavy. Why is this so heavy? Because you're in a hurry, you just got there, you got it done, and it felt not good. So that's your nervous system. What we're doing is we're priming the nervous system that prevents you from picking up a cup of coffee and slamming it into your face like you're holding a 45-pound dumbbell. So we've got to get our nervous system switched on to start moving these weights. So you can absolutely do that in a manner to kind of cut down time. We're not talking ideals, right? Ideally, you'd get to the gym, you take your time, you go through your warm up, you start moving under the bar, and so forth. That's not the cards you're playing right now. So we've got to figure out how to combine that. And what you can do is do stuff with the bar to combine in with the workup. You just got to make your lighter sets a little more focused, a little slower, add in pauses and isometrics and tempos, like the eccentric, and go from there. And what you can then do is go into, like, say, a bar on your back, into stepping out into a forward lunge and really pushing forward and getting that hamstring stretch on the front and the quad stretch on the back. Little things like that. Overhead. So say you're overhead pressing that day, you kind of come back and you go behind your head, stretch out that pec, stretch out the shoulders, little things like that. Anything that comes to the joints and the mobility and the rotation, we don't want heavy. If there's one thing I've learned from working with sports PTs is I can get my ass absolutely kicked with a 2.5 pound weight. No matter how strong you get, it's just applying it in the right direction. So there's things you can do while you get there in a time crunch, working up, getting under the bar to get your workout done, to kind of co-op as a warm-up.
Right. The warm up I was thinking was the one that's already built into the program. Because I've been here since day one, founding member, and we're talking over 2 years. And the next level, advanced, I've been doing advanced just about the whole time. The next level a couple times, the foundation a couple times, tried some of the other ones, had to switch programs. But yeah, and that's what I've done in the past too. Like, say, a bench, I'll just get on the bar and bang out 25, 30, 35 reps and just kind of like get that warmed up. And I can definitely do that with the squat. And I can say from experience, because I've got some bum knees here, that first set is tricky. The next set, not so much.
So you need 25.
Yeah, I would read the workup, don't warm up your article in the recommended tab, because that's completely changed my strength level. Because I grew up, I think, probably the same as a lot of people with coaches or PTs that said, yeah, do 20 reps of this lightweight, do 10 reps of this to warm up. Once Adam and then Nick, both of them preach the same thing, which is how I know it is definitely smart, told me, no, what are you doing? You're fatiguing your muscles before you go try to use them. We want to prime, not fatigue. Do 5 reps of that low weight, maybe throw some pauses in, do them as fast as you can, then do 4 reps, then 3, 3, 3. It completely changed everything because my nervous system was ready, my muscles were ready, but I wasn't tired when I went into that first lift. So make sure to read, it's in the recommended tab. I think it's called workup, don't just warm up your muscles, because that's going to help you a lot.
And it's not just the right? The fatigue, which is a big issue. Most people spend their whole warm up exhausting themselves before they actually get to the real working sets. If you're coming in cold and you try to rip off 25 reps of anything, I a couple things are gonna happen. One, there's actually a chance of getting hurt or doing something in your warm up. Two, I will promise you those later reps are not going to be high quality because for the same reason that you're doing a workup is to work your way into be able to move better into getting blood flow. Trying to rip off 25 reps of anything cold is just asking, right? And even if you don't get hurt, right? Part of the idea of workup sets is that you're priming the movement to move correctly, right? You want to move under no load or move under light load just as you would under heavy load. And if those last few reps kind of suck, like those are the reps then setting you up. So yes, you're getting more blood flow, but it's just at 25 reps, it's far too many than you need.
I want you to start taking your rest days where you don't have to go to the gym, and I want you to throw in your full body warm up routine on those rest days. No
Okay,
lifting,
so
just the
that
mobility.
one that's in the program is for the advanced foundations. It's like 3 of 10 of
Inverted rows.
push-ups, 3 of 10 of body weight, and 3 of 10 of rows and lunges. So just do those on the off days, and then do the eccentric. So like on a bench, I would come down slower, go all the way up, and do that little hunch extra, like I learned in PT a couple times. Just kind of warm things up, a little stretches, and the same with the squat, right? So I would go down with just the bar, maybe a couple tens, hold it on the bottom, slow up for the eccentric, slow down. Wait, no, power up for the eccentric, slow on the down.
The
Now
downs,
the other one is like the deadlift. Yeah,
the downs, you're eccentric.
right. So anytime you're working, gravity is your enemy on the down. So pull ups and slow down. So like with a deadlift, I get it up and then kind of do the slow down with the proper
Yeah.
form.
So on a deadlift, how I warm up once I get to the bar is I do 90-pound jumps up to a certain weight. And then so my first set with 135, I do a pause 1 inch off the floor, then I pause again just below my knee, then I finish the rep, and then I do a 5 count eccentric down. And I do
Okay.
3 reps of that. Then I throw in
All right.
225, I do the same thing. Then I throw 315, then I do 2 reps with that same method, except I drop the pause at the knee, but I keep the pause off the floor. So I'm making those reps a little bit harder, priming things without fatiguing myself, right? And
All
then
right.
once I hit that 4 or 5 mark, then it's full speed. I'm primed, I'm ready. My nervous system isn't shocked by that 90-pound jump because I just made 315 feel harder.
Right. So I would just, start on the bottom and go kind of slow, lift it, stop at the knee, lift it, hold it at the top.
Yeah, you
and
can
slow down.
try those pauses, and it's going to ingrain some spatial awareness in your pool. And what I mean by that is body position, because we're constantly trying to make our lift better, create a better leverage, optimize our pull, our squat, or whatever. So it's going to cause you to, if you have to do that pause off the floor, odds are if you're jerking at all, it's going to help mitigate that jerk because you got to be patient off the floor because you're literally going holding, acceleration. So it's going to also help polish some things. You might not even realize you need polish.
Okay. All right. That's all great information. Good to know. That article is it's the warm workup, not warm up is what it's called. And it's in the
It's in the
recommended, correct?
recommended tab. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll just remind everyone before we go to the next question, read that recommended tab. There's like 13 articles there, and all of them are there for a reason. I mean, there are hundreds of articles in the app, but we've sorted 13 so that someone could go
Right.
through in a week or two, read those, and we know they're going to be training and eating how we want them to succeed. So we've made that recommended tab a resource to make it easy on everyone. And I still have to remind people to read it every single day. But
Right.
it's there for all of you. I want to
Right.
read Nick and Adam, since he's here, some of the questions from the text Q&A. Someone
Right.
asked about thoughts on using a safety squat bar or a belt squat versus a barbell.
belt squat totally changes everything. A belt squat, I believe, unless you have some sort of shoulder injury, it's an assistance equipment. It's used
They
to.
do say that they have shoulder issues, but
I would try the safety squat bar first. That's literally what it was designed for.
yeah. Adam, don't you basically only squat now with a safety squat?
I love the safety squat bar. My best.
Yeah.
Best thing ever.
Every time I go into the gym, I just come up to it and I say hello and I give it a little hug. It's my best friend.
Yeah, I also love the safety squat bar. The only reason I'm not using it right now is I'm trying to build up my peer squat to 405. How April asked, how do you know when you're ready for advanced? I'm gonna throw that to Adam because I think my answer will be too psychotic.
Nick comes to visit you in a dream. And if Nick doesn't come to visit you in a dream, the general rule of thumb, right, is that if you have been training consistently for 3 or 4 years or more, right? So this is I would say advanced is more of a proxy of training consistency more than anything else. Because you can create strength boundaries, but some of that's truly arbitrary. I know some people who have not prioritized gaining maximum strength, which I think is a great goal for everyone, right? Because to me, strength is your best antidote to aging, which we all have to deal with. But people who can move well, people who train consistently, people who have built that habit, people who have built the horsepower to be able to train consistently so you can take on more challenging movements, take on more intensity, take on more volume. That is usually a byproduct of like, have you been disciplined enough to train for a while? So I think the easiest way to do it is you earn your way in with consistency. And we all know for consistent, consistent isn't like, oh, I show up to the gym like once or twice every month. Consistency is I achieve my program 80 to 90% of the time, and I show up year after year after year, and I put in the work. That I think is for me the best barometer. But I mean, the program is what you're going to make of it. And the starting from scratch is designed from a movement standpoint to be easier and from a volume standpoint to be easier. The intermediate and advanced, right? We say it all the time. Most people completely misunderstand what makes a good workout. People think you need all of these innovative exercises or you need 20 different exercises. What really makes a great workout, really makes you advanced is your ability, as Nick would always like, to be able to push the horsepower, to be able to maintain maximum intensity set over set for the duration of an entire workout. And that's it. You can have a great workout with 3, 4 exercises where someone would look at it on paper and be like, this is the easiest thing in the world. And if you're pushing yourself really hard, sometimes those workouts are the worst. You just want it to end because it's brutal. It's kind of how I look at the foundation. Some of the foundation is like when you're pushing a full body workout and you're benching and rowing and squatting and deadlifting, if you're doing it right, man, you get done and maybe you do an assistant exercise and you should be absolutely exhausted. So I would say you earn advance by consistency. And I don't know if Nick has a different answer, or maybe his answer will be I visit you in a dream.
Well, I just hope it's not the wrong dream.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to cut in and say thank you so much. This is so appreciated. I can't say enough of how the community is awesome from all over the world, and having people like Adam and Daniel and Arnold and everyone else say, wow, it's the best money I ever spent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway,
Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Community and great, but I have to go. Like I said, I got to get ready to work. I work at a summer school program, and actually, this is my high school gym for a little tiny town. I can't believe this is amazing.
Pretty sick.
Better than some of the pay ones around here.
Great gym.
Yeah.
And I actually have a belt squat machine over there. One of the few I've ever seen.
Go train.
Anyway, thank you so much. Will this be posted so I can watch the rest of it somewhere?
We post them all on the article about the Zoom, so the recording will be there. Thanks, Kevin.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Take care, all. Bye.
FX.
Wait a second. I'm curious. Ketchel, what was your answer going to be?
My answer is I don't think there's anything wrong with challenging yourself. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? The workout is hard. So, and also for April specifically, I saw the second comment. I know I'm not advanced. April, most women, if you took your 300-pound deadlift into the masters category for your weight class, you're probably going to find out that's actually you're already advanced just by raw numbers. Don't you think, Nick? For a 62-year-old woman.
She's got to be like in a top 0.5 percentile.
Yeah, so I wouldn't my answer is two things. One, nothing wrong with pushing yourself. The worst thing that can happen is it feels hard, and that's a great thing when you finish. I can tell you while I'm doing Nick's program and literally saying bad words to him in the videos I'm sending to check my form. It's a great feeling when I'm done. And two, April, you need to change your view of yourself because you're already advanced. And then three, I would also say I'm pretty advanced. I'm not as advanced as Nick. I could kill myself with one of the intermediate workouts.
Same.
So like a lot of this is, and I answer these customer service tickets all the time, so I see it over and over, especially from people who think they're advanced. Like this is too easy, and it's only easy if you're not choosing a weight that's hard and you're not following the workout by pushing yourself every single set. That's the only way it's easy. Like I don't want to call out a specific person, but the latest ticket was about how the upper lower split of the foundation is just way too easy and doesn't leave someone feeling tired because they're too advanced. And
people.
and I'm like, and by the way, this guy came back to me and said, I did what you said, and I read First Set Mindset, and now I get it, because my answer to him was a little bit brutal, but it was just, I don't really know where you're coming from, because the last time I did that workout, I was doing 10, 8, 6, 4 deadlifts, where my set of 4 deadlifts was 505 pounds. And if you think that's easy to do that reverse pyramid to that, I guess you're probably half Thor or something. So I would say, when in doubt, my move would always be to go up a level and make it harder on myself. But you can make any program hard on yourself if you're training with First Set Mindset and only leaving a couple reps in the tank.
It is very, very easy to make a workout hard. It is very hard to create a workout that makes you better. Right? There is a big difference. Just like it's very easy to take, like, not everyone can coach. Nick is a world-class coach. I don't say this because he's on the call. I say it behind his back. I say it because I've seen coaches. Nick is a fantastic coach, and you see it here because he understands how to get people better. He understands how to get on their level. He understands how to read a person and cue them and coach them and improve them. And Nick and I have both talked about, like, that's the hardest thing, is being able to connect with people and help them. It's also hard to write good programs. But writing good programs is it's boring because there's so many variables to try and consider. But like when people are like, "Oh, a workout isn't hard," it's truly right. You could give someone a workout, like do hundreds of reps, and that workout would be absolutely exhausting. I don't care how advanced you are, right? The difficulty of a workout is directly correlated, directly connected to the intensity that you bring. So if you tell someone a workout isn't hard enough, right? I could take a one exercise workout and I can absolutely smoke anyone with one exercise. I'm sure Nick can do the exact same. It's not hard to make it.
A cycle right now where I have 3 movements. Monday I had banded iso clams. So where I put a band around my knees, lay on my side, and open my legs. They were 1-minute isometrics, 3 reps each side. And it absolutely cooked my glutes. Then I had flat back snatch grip barbell raises on like a glute ham raise, back extensions with front foot elevated split squats. That's all I had. 3 movements, and the second 2 were 10 by 10s. I was cooked.
This is the world's strongest man. That's my wife.
3 movements.
You go take your wife's call if you need
Let's
to.
say good morning to Mike.
Your kids are probably awake. Mine aren't yet. Let's move to FX.
Thanks. Good morning from Montreal, folks. So my question is about the T-bar row exercise. I met that for the first time last week. I got into phase 3 of gym muscle gain intermediate, and I don't have the machine that you guys show in the video. I looked at the alternative exercises, but I still wanted to try to get as close as possible to that form and what my gym has. What I came up with, I just wanted to know if that was better. There are two things that you didn't show in the app. One is, I don't know if you call that a hinge, but like a metal pipe in which I put the
Landmine.
bar. Sorry?
Landmine.
Landmine.
Landmine. Is that okay? Yeah, like at the end of a rack at the bottom. So I use that with a triangle hand bar, and then I just put it close to the weight and I lift. But there's also a machine that they have
No,
as
you
well
did.
for the.
The first thing you did was perfect.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
uploaded in any case on Dropbox a picture of that setup. If later if you want to look at it,
That's
but
what
okay,
I
if that's
use.
great.
I have no machines where I train. And whenever I have some sort of anchored row, like a landmine row or a T-bar row. So just for clarification, T-bar row is a certain type. Landmine is anything with that attachment because you can do like core workouts with it. You can do all sorts of things. So a landmine is a landmine row. You can supplement doing single arm, the T-bar attachment, anything, right? And those are honestly one of the best pieces of equipment you can invest in a gym. So just because it's not a T-bar machine or a T-bar thing, as long as you were getting that movement plane, I'm gonna be happy.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Yes. Jan was next, I saw.
Yep. And then let's get to some form checks. Where's Jan? Is it Jan or Jan?
Jan.
It's Jan. I'm at the gym.
Oh.
Sorry. I was trying to get unmuted. I know we need to get into the form checks. I was just my question was kind of like Kevin's. I have a limited amount of time when I'm working out. And so I kind of rushed through my workup sets. And I was wondering, would it be better to do the workup sets, get the right form, and then not be able to complete all the sets in the workout, or just try to do one or two lower weights to work up and just try to get through it?
I'd rather you complete the prescribed work.
Yeah.
How you warm up can be modified as long as we're doing it in a manner that gets the job done, right? We don't need the bells and whistles. And there's things you can do to modify your workout per se. So we can also reduce rest time slightly if need be to so you can hit your mark and hit your effort and prescribed rep range. And but if you're going to do that, excuse me, if you're going to do that, we need to carry that through the remainder of the program. So even on days where you have the time, we still need to maintain that workout pace so your data is not all over the place and your progress is consistent. So say you have 2 minutes of prescribed rest, if doing 90 seconds across the board gives you that extra time to complete everything, let's do that. It might cause a weight reduction, but your effort's still really high and you're still hitting the target rep ranges, and that's all good. Then we need to maintain that through the entire workout, even on the days when you have time, if that makes sense.
It does. I'm doing the foundation repeat right now, and the warm-up takes me a lot of time to do the 3 sets of 10. So I'm doing the entire warm-up before I start the workout. Should I maybe do like 2 sets instead of 3, or?
You can when you're jammed, I think you can do 2 rounds of that, but I can also do it because I use my Apple Watch when I'm training. So I know how long everything takes. I can do the 3 set warm up in 5 minutes. I don't
Oh, okay.
rest at all. It's a circuit for me. So I'm trying to get my heart rate up, and then I take a minute or two to catch my breath before my first workup set. I'm not resting between my push-ups to squats to inverted rows to lunges. I'm just rushing. I'm rolling through those, then I'm rolling through them again, then I'm rolling through them again. And by the end of that, my heart rate's up, I'm sweating, and I give myself a minute, and then I get under the bar for my first workout. So you can do that as fast as you need to.
Okay. All right. No, thanks. I appreciate it.
And if
Doing
you're
the
good after
jumping
two,
lunge as well speeds it up.
if you're good
I
after
found it.
two, move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But who was saying something?
Yeah, I was saying that I also replace the lunge with jumping lunge as well. Sometimes I find it's faster. Like you stay, I don't know if that's good or not, but I used to do that in boxing. Like you stay in place and you jump and with your
Yeah.
I
mean, it depends.
Nick, what do you think? I think it's a little bit intense for warm-up sets.
Are we talking about the warm-up lunges?
Yeah.
yeah. It's just I find
That's
them so
okay.
long. Like,
I mean, if you're a fast twitch, like you have a history of that, and that makes your body feel good, I'm totally okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that little bit of variation. It's one way to pluck the chicken out of a dozen, you know?
Good on you for actually wanting to do jump lunges, though. That's one of the most terrible exercises. I think it takes an exercise I already hate and makes it worse. Let's do the form checks now, and as Noah gets those loaded up, I'll check the Q&A. Is there a feeling that you can look for when you're ready, but before beginning to get fatigued in the warm-up? Mm, I think
You guys
I
see
think
my
you
screen, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah, I can see
yeah,
it.
we can, Noah. I think I wouldn't worry about this too much. If you mean the warm up in the app, like the generic warm up, you're not going to get fatigued. And if you use the workup article style of workups for the compound lifts, you're not going to get fatigued. Really fast before we do this form check, I use a belt now, and sometimes I'm not sure how hard to tighten it. Is there a rule? I've learned this from Nick. You want the belt to have what, 3 fingers, Nick?
Yeah, so basically, when you crank down your belt, you need to do it while you're braced. Because if you can't get a full brace when your belt's all the way tight, it's not as effective as it could be. So when you brace and make that expansion, then crank down your belt as tight as you can around the full brace. So then you know you can completely brace into it. So the 3 finger method that I did, putting it in the back of your belt, was honestly just making sure what that was doing was making sure you're breathing 360 into it. And I should be able to fit basically those fingers, and I've got meat hooks. So basically without his brace, I should be able to have some daylight in there to get my fingers in. And then when he braces up against it, it smashed my fingers. So that's all that was.
Yeah, for everyone, I'd say, like, to make it simple, before you take that deep belly breath that we talk about for all the big lifts, your belt isn't super tight. That belly breath is what makes it tight, because what the belt's there to do is be your guide to make sure you brace properly. The belt's not magic. So if you cinch it down before you take your breath, you're not letting the belt do its job. Let's let Nick break this down. These are much better push presses than I do in Nick's current program. So I'll just start by saying good work.
All right, let's see the clean. The push press looks great. He's opening the window, pushing his head through. The knee drive looks like if he's going out, over, up, heels are coming up. So that means he's pushing his knees forward versus out and letting his butt move in a vertical plane. So we're losing a little bit. We want to stay to our heels, and we want more of a pop than a sag. So the clean is always the biggest thing to clean up. What a lot of people don't realize, the clean is actually different from a deadlift position. if you watch Oli lifters do it, their hips actually drop lower, so they get a more vertical bar path versus this is what I'd call a muscle clean. It's all power. There's no offense to you, my man. There's no real technique work here. This is just because you are muscling that weight up. So what we want to do is we want to actually bring those hips down so you're actually driving the bar up off the ground with your legs and not pulling it up off the floor with your back. Because if you're watching this, right where his belt is, when he cleans, he's totally breaking form and losing tension. So he gets set right here, boom, and then jerks that bar up off the pads. So what we want to do is we actually want to pull ourselves down into tension, bring our hips down a little bit lower. And this is a very, like, I always teach this from the top down because the press is the easiest to learn. And I don't want you thinking about the press once we're learning how to clean it. I only like people thinking about one piece at a time. So the press is honestly, he's doing the best. But we really need to get into position on that clean because the bar should actually float by the time we're snapping under. There should be a little bit of a jerk underneath the bar because the trick to an Olympic style lift like this is getting under the bar when it's neutralized. And what I mean by that is there will be a dead point in the clean where the bar is floating. And that's when we actually catch it. So it's actually a trick in power cleans and snatches and clean and jerks and split jerks are some of the most intense technique thing we can do under a barbell because it requires power and speed and it requires optimal leverage. And we're talking about if he got into position and got the bar path correct, that bar would almost double in speed with his strength as it is, not adding strength, just adding correct leverages. So we want to get you a little bit back more towards your heels on your leg drive for the push press. We want to get your hips a little bit lower and your chest really proud. And we want to really make sure we're braced when we're doing that and not jerking the bar off the floor. So I love how you're pressing these out. You've got some great press strength. But there's some things you need to dial in on the clean to make this a little safer and a little more optimal for you.
And I'll also say that this is in Nick's current program that I'm testing for everyone right now. This is by far my worst lift. I think Nick knows that. And I have no experience with it. I want to strict press it instead of push pressing it. My clean isn't great. So I think one thing we'll try to do is Nick trains me through it is we'll do a series of videos showing how bad it is and how Nick changes it so that everyone can benefit from me going from walking like a baby horse on this lift to hopefully being really good at it.
We should definitely do some clean and press content.
And yeah, we should, because also the other thing I'll say is clean and press is Arnold and Nick. Both of them have said their two favorite lifts are the deadlift and the clean and press. So we need to pump this up. Here's Ben Riley.
These are very strict. These are very composed. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're super low, super bent over, and that is totally fine. That's the beauty of these roads. There's kind of like a field of good way to do it. So as long as your back is supported and we're not, in that flexion, I have nothing wrong with that. I don't care what's on the bar. I love that he's just in a basement or garage, minimal equipment, just grabbing this bar and going. Like there's no, like, I don't have, like, he's just making it work. And
no handle needed.
The question we had earlier about, this is like a landmine, bro. This is totally acceptable. I don't care what you have attachment wise. I'm okay with this. I love it.
Right.
I love when guys just make things work. You know what I mean? So
well, thank you. That's what I was going for.
Yeah,
I've always. Please.
Oh, go ahead, Ben. Go ahead, Ben.
All right. I was just going to say that I always skipped those. I always changed them out for the bent over row because I thought I don't have the equipment. But then you'd said several weeks ago to not do that. And I went, okay, yes, boss, let's, just make do with what I've got. I will just do what I can with what I have where I am, as the man said.
I like that.
So,
Yeah.
First of all, I'm impressed. What I meant was more in your case, I love that you figured out a way to do it, but I didn't mean for people not to use the swap if they don't have equipment. I meant don't use the swap to get out of exercises because you just don't like them. But the fact that you figured this out, the only thing I'd say is I do the same thing because I don't have a landmine attachment. I kind of push it into a corner. And then
that's what I've done too.
A lot of times I'll do it with just the bar like you did, or I'll wrap my TRX handles around it because I have those. But the only thing I'll say is to people who are pushing it into a corner, make sure it's secured, because there's definitely been one time where the back of the bar came out and it almost the whole bar popped up. I almost lost my ability to have children, I think. So make sure it's secured when you do that.
Well, that would be a tragedy.
uh,
I
let's
wedged
see.
it up against my dumbbell rack, so
Oh,
there's about
that's
80
safe.
kilos of weight on
Okay.
it, so I reckon I'll be okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's safe.
Good
Let's
job, man.
see.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Forward on rack. Okay. From this angle, these look. She's got great depth. She could sit back to her heels slightly more. There we go. That last rep was my favorite one. So high bar squat position. I love how her elbows are directly underneath the bar. They're not kicked back. They're not too far forward. She's maintaining a neutral chin and spine this whole time. She's not looking up. The only reason I want her to sit back is if you look at the bottom of her squat, her heels roll up off the ground. So that means we're getting toe heavy. We want ideally mid-foot pressure, which will keep your heels in place. The otherwise this squat looks great. I don't really want to change too much here. I would essentially, I'd have her, what I'd like to see her do is slow down and do some really slow eccentrics on warm up, because if you can tell, she has this little bit of shake, and it might be she looks like she's on spongy shoes, so there's some instability. But I mean, her legs are jacked, so she's squatting. You can't have jacked legs and not squat. Like it doesn't, not like this. So we know she's putting in the work. We know she's squatting. We can see she's hitting depth. And overall, I would say this squat is like 90% good. We just need to fine tune getting her back to her heels. I believe this is Amali.
Yeah.
Yeah. Familiar face here. So she's doing great. We just need to get her back to her heels. And do some really slow eccentrics, warm-ups, and get some firm footwear. I don't care if it's Vans, Converse. I don't care what it is. We want hard soles. And even maybe because of the way your heels are lifting, it could indicate a mobility thing with your hips. So what we could do is potentially you could take your shoes off, throw some plates under your heels, or even if you want, invest in some lifters like the Reeboks or the Tiers or Adi Powers or Nike Ramaleos, depending on what you want to spend. And getting that, because for me, what that changes, it took the pressure out of my hips that I always felt in squats. But overall, I love your squat. It is, you're getting a lot right.
Thank
Emily,
you.
you got told you got jacked legs. That's a good,
you got jacked legs.
It's a good day for you.
Yeah. I hate wearing shoes, but in the gym we cannot be barefoot.
Can you have socks on?
No.
Can
Oh,
you get it like
So I will
a cheap Van slip-on or like the cheap version where it's just a flat shoe?
buy one.
Yeah, and then like Nick said, I'll say to everyone, like for years I just used Van slip-ons and I put a 5 pound plate under each heel. Now I bought lifter shoes, which have the heel built in, but you can do it either way. You can start simple and work your way up to getting lifting
And
shoes
feel
if you.
free, because you're a frequent face, and you're always putting the work. Feel free to, like, when you're, if you have questions on footwear, feel free to, I imagine you have Instagram. Feel free to DM me and ask if you're unsure, like, hey, are these good? Or these what I'm looking for? These what I need? Because I know footwear can be, there's so many things on the market, and I'm someone who has extremely wide feet, nothing fits. So if, I have a lot of experience blowing out shoes, shoe shopping, because nothing ever fits. Every shoe I get, I have to take the soles out so my feet fit because of how thick they are. I have to put shoe stretchers in. I dip them in hot water, then I let them hang dry for 3 days while the shoe stretchers are in them, just so I can get my 10,000 BC feet in them. So I just, because of this, I have a very large uh rap sheet of finding out what shoes work and what shoes don't. So if you do have questions, feel free to reach out. Send them my way. Maybe I can help. Because I'm fortunate enough that I train in a barn alone and I can not wear shoes at all and no one cares. I think it's stupid that gyms don't, even in socks. Like,
Yeah,
but feel
they
free
don't.
to ask those questions. We'll get you guys squared away.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
I see mine's come up here next. I'll just give you some context here. I started lowering down as much as possible, and I at one point, and I hurt my glute doing so. So I've kind of backed off on the weight quite a bit, and I just want to make sure I'm doing things right at this stage in the game.
Yes,
That looks pretty good.
that looks great. See how you have this forward rock right when you get to the bottom, right there. You come forward and you transition to your toe on the drive up. I want you to, we'll see it some more here, right there. So you come down straight and then you come up like this. So we're straight, we're straight, we're straight. Bip. You come slightly forward coming out of the hole. So that could be a few things. Odds are it is you're trying to recruit a little more quad. So what you're doing really well is, if you notice, Noah, can you restart that? Thank you. Oh, it does it by itself. Right when you descend, you break at your hips first. And that's a really important cue, because what that does is it prevents you from coming down forward, right? So I want you to maintain that focus on when you come up. I want you to think about, this is a full body lift. Any compound lift is a full body lift. I want you to think about, as you're coming up, so you're not coming forward, I want you to think about driving that barbell off your back. Think like you have a slab of concrete and it's fight or flight mode, and you've got to get it off of your back. So what that does is, instead of creating a two-piece and potentially hinging, because what can happen here is, if you get too far forward, your butt will shoot up and then you're outside of your bar path, right? So what I want you to do is drive that barbell off your back. Get the monkey off your back, dog. That should help with this rolling forward a little bit. Another thing, again, you hear me say this, maybe elevate your heels slightly, so 5 pound plates.
Yeah.
That will allow you to sit back a little more, because it creates anterior pelvic tilt. And it'll allow you to put that weight back more towards your heels. But overall, your squat looks good. I love that you lowered the weight. I love that you are trying to correct things. That makes me very happy to see, because your squat, again, just like Amelie, is that right? Am I saying it right? Just like Amelie, very composed
Nice try.
90% of the way.
Hmm.
We're just fine tuning.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate that.
So we jerked on the first rep, got better throughout. It's always the first rep that's the worst for people because gravity fixes us on the way down. So we're a little bit out of position with our hips. So what I mean by that is if you look how his hips are kind of trying to curl under and advance sooner, the flexion never leaves. He never pulls that back into position. So what needs to happen here is drop our chin, get a nice neutral chin, push our, essentially, when I say drop, doesn't mean this, it means pushing our chin back, right? Like think about like if you're driving and you're trying to get a nice, perfect posture, or a cue that I use is probably arguably not HR's. Someone ran a broomstick up through you and you can't move, right? So the weight doesn't look like an issue. So dropping weight obviously is always a first starting point. So we're not thinking about the weight. What we need to do is I really want you to go down to the bar like you're doing a good morning. And then what you're going to do is pull your belly button to the floor. So using the bar, pull your belly button to the floor to set that back, simultaneously snapping the bar. So you see how forward his shoulders are? So we're not getting the lat engagement that we'd like to get to hold that back together. There's a triangle from your hips to your armpit down to your knees. Right, and there you can see it. The stomach, the back of the arm, the upper thigh creates a triangle. That triangle it's weird how shapes surface, right? And when it comes to optimal power position, in every lift, we can find a triangle. When it's in bench, it's the bar, our chest, and our arm. It's right here. We have a triangle. So for the deadlift, that triangle is a pretty good indicator on where our body's at with its 3 points. The front of the triangle indicates our bar path. The bottom of the triangle indicates our hamstring engagement. The top of the triangle indicates our back recruitment. So we need to kind of dial that in, push our belly button to the floor, and I want you to brace really fucking hard, like your life depends on it, and that's what's going to support your back. So I want you to get air before you pull. Catch is something through practicing this. He does it really good. I can hear him getting that air in. I have someone that trains also at the bar gym. His name's Billy, and he has a really, really loud brace when he does it. But it's a verbal cue for him that he ingrained while learning it that is just carried over to how he does it. So we really need to support that back with your core, and that's going to be the biggest thing. But I want you to push that belly button to the floor and get that lumbar straightened out and pack those lats. That's where we really need to start.
Cool. Thanks, Nick.
So you pick that up. Basically, this is how you should clean almost. So he's deadlifting how an Olympic lifter would clean or snatch grip. So that is pretty much all quad. His butt shooting up to recruit hamstring. So basically, man, what we need to do for you is we need to bring your hips up. Because if you look before the bar breaks, hips rise, now the bar breaks. So what your body is doing is naturally putting you in position where your leg drive starts to pick the ground up. So this is where I hate the saying lift with your legs, not with your back, because you got to lift with both. That's the trick to deadlift. And it's the timing of both. The back is supporting the legs off the floor, and then the back is finishing once the legs are done with their job. And the core is supporting that weight the entire time. So I love how you roll the bar in up against your shin, but do you see how your knees push back, your hips rise before the bar actually rises? So we need to start in that position. Noah, can you try stopping me at the point when the bar starts to break? Yeah, that's your deadlift position. Look at that back, look at that hip position, the shoulders directly over the bars. We just need to get you a little bit back on your heels, a little bit. But that is what I want you to start your deadlift at, that position. It's perfect. Your body's doing it once the bar leaves the ground. That is great. Your hamstrings are engaging here. Look at that back. That your back looks great. Your chin's just about neutral. This is how I want you to set up your deadlift. You're doing it, just not at the start.
Perfect.
So these you helped me with on the last call, and so I just redid them to see if I was doing it correctly. You don't have to spend a lot of time on them.
Yes. Driving up towards your eyes. Perfect. You nailed it.
Well, good, because I even had to have my husband listen to the last session to have him, am I doing this correctly? But anyway, thank you.
The only other thing I'd tweak is get that chest proud and pack your shoulders on your lats. So think about taking your shoulder blades and putting them down into your back pockets. So we're just going to roll those shoulders back and put them on our lats. Keep that chest proud. That's the only cue I have for you on those.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You have not seen this before. I have not videoed this before.
Are those kilo plates?
I have no idea.
Looks like 4.5. Yeah, 10. Okay, there's 10 on the other side. So it's great that you're not going all the way down with the small plates because you're replicating what a traditional range of motion would be. So if you look, the bar comes forward on the way down, and then as you come up, it comes down. You are, I believe, in the same position as, was it Matt earlier, the deadlift video we just saw? You're almost in a clean position. So we want to bring your hips up just a little bit, and so that bar path becomes straight. It doesn't do this. Right?
Yeah, I was trying to stay close to my legs and keep
Yeah.
my arms underneath my shoulders to keep it straight.
Yes. So
But I
what
felt
you're
wonky.
doing is you're actually traveling around your knee right here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're so low, you can't get into the right position per se. So what we want to do is we actually want to bring your hips up, and what it'll do is it'll suck your knees back. So you don't have to travel around your knees, and it'll create a nice linear bar path.
Okay.
Literally the same thing I gave the gentleman before you.
Yeah. And when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this I was trying to hold at the top. I was just trying to hold it for a split second before I went back down, and just trying to do it controlled and slow pace.
Initiate that pull with your back and not your biceps still. That rep was better. That rep was better. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, these are good. These are good. Really emphasize that initial start of the rep, just like you would a pull up with your back, and then you follow up with your arms.
Thank you.
Great job. Got some weight on the bar. And I can't tell what that is. Fun little coaching fact. I've always loved when people wear pants that have like the Adidas pants with the lines, because it gives you a really, really good, like, easy indicator on body positioning. Um, these are stiff leg deadlifts. I don't know if that's what you're going for. But you are all back. There's virtually no leg drive there. So what we need to do is we need to pull your hips down into the opposite of the last two people. You're complete opposite end of the spectrum here. You're pulling through your lumbar. If you notice, when the pull starts, you're basically pushing your lower back to the ceiling, and then it advances through. So yeah, see that there's virtually no leg drive there. So to correct this, we're going to stop touch and goes altogether, because we need to get the start correct. I'm a big advocate for throwing touch and goes out the window when it comes to learning, and especially early lifting. I haven't done touch and go in years because of strongman. There's on a deadlift, there's typically for reps, there's an up and a down command. So touch and goes are useless because you're pulling with already created tension. And if we're not getting that first rep right and we're maintaining that position from the first rep, then every rep after that isn't going to be what we want it to be. So we want a reset and a brace, whether take like 2 seconds between each rep, and reset, pull intention, and get your brace. Will it make the overall set harder? Probably. Will it make your deadlift better? Exponentially. So we're going to give an inch to take a foot on the back end. So we're going to lower the weight by probably about I would say 25 to 50 pounds for that working set, whatever your rep range was and the target was, because you are really pulling through that lumbar heavily. And we're leaving probably a lot of total tonnage on the table due to that lack of leg drive. So we want to start the pull with the legs, and then we want to finish with the glutes, lock it out with the back, low back, and upper back. So I really want you to focus on that brace, keeping that belly button pushed to the floor, locking down those lats like the gentleman in the early video, and kind of revamping your entire pull. So let's pull a ton of weight off of that, and let's get that right. I wanna make it pretty so we can make it powerful. These are pretty good.
May I ask for help? Oh, sorry.
A lot of people mess up is they let their elbows rock back really far, and they're actually getting a lot of assistance from the lats, but you don't really have a lot of that movement. You're the only thing is I would finish by trying to pull that rope apart, right? And try and punch the wall out in front of you. And what you're gonna feel with that little bit of rotation is you're gonna feel that tricep really light up trying to pull that rope apart.
I've never done these in my life. So
You're doing pretty damn good.
I had no idea. The first time I did them, it was hilarious.
You did pretty good. I mean, never doing a movement. Those were 99% what they should be. Just finish that.
So
you do a
pull.
good job of keeping your elbows stationary and up by your ears, and really finish that movement by pulling the rope apart. That's the trick with that specific implement. Whether you're pulling them down, whether you're pulling bottom to top or top to bottom, the finishing thing with those rope attachments is pull the rope apart. And it's the same thing if you do like a face pull with them. You want to pull the rope apart and try and pull that centerpiece towards your face, try and push it away from you. So That's the trick with that rope attachment is when you're doing tricep extensions, no matter the plane, pull the rope apart at the end and kind of rotate your fists like thumb down.
Okay.
You're really going to feel it light at the tricep. Sorry, I need to watch these again. I wasn't paying attention.
So I'm rehabbing a knee, so
Okay.
my weight is light, but I really want to make sure my form is correct because I screwed up my knee when I
So
added.
you're actually doing what's called a zercher. And that's the front loaded. That is a very common movement in strongman. And there's nothing wrong with them. If that's what's working for you. So we want to try and get you a little bit deeper. Slow the movement down. And I want you to just get comfortable and get confidence back with your knee.
Okay.
I want to prioritize tempo over weight with you with a rehab. So I don't care if you even drop down to a PVC, if that would make you feel more comfortable for the time being.
Okay.
But we want to slow you down. You're moving pretty quick, which is a great sign for your knee. But we want to get you deeper. Because what happened to your knee?
I have a partial meniscus tear.
And did you get it corrected, surgery, PT?
I have not. I'm doing PT.
Okay. Have they set any range of motion restrictions on you?
Yeah, I'm going actually a little bit further than what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, so that's info I need to know so I don't run you into a further injury. So I'm going to let your PT continue to dictate that pace because they're the one working with you and assessing you. But I really want you to emphasize we want to really, because range of motion is how we really also help strengthen our tendons.
Right.
I don't know the degree of the tear, nor am I a medical doctor. But I've done a lot of knee rehab in my journey. So joints are a finicky thing because you can hurt them with a range of motion, especially tendons and things like tendinitis. Working out can make it worse, but it's also the thing that makes it better. So like finding this Goldilocks zone with these. So I'm going to continue to let your PT dictate that pace, but we want to make sure your PT is also gradually progressing you into ranges of motion because if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So you need that tendon to eventually get strong because it will get strong in that range of motion. But for now,
yeah, I was doing much less range of motion, only with 10 pounds. And
so
now that's a 30 weighted bar. So I'm feeling like I'm making progress, and I didn't have pain afterwards, the next day or even while I was doing it. So I feel like I'm making progress. I just
that's
wanted.
because you are. I mean, you've gone up in weight, you have more range of motion, so just stay on that trend. And make sure your PT is gradually over time working you deeper, which I'm sure they will. So stay the course. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Okay.
So Nick, I was trying to focus on keeping the bar close to me, keeping my shoulders over the bar. And every time I rocked back and I started pulling the bar up, it just pulled me forward.
Yeah, because it was slightly too far back. So what we're gonna do is I want you to stay back like that. But you see how what's happening is you're rolling forward, whether it's intentional or unintentional, but it's allowing your hips to get to the right height for your legs to do what they do. So this slight back, this isn't bad. Now I'm going to preface this with these are fine-tuned adjustments, but we want to eliminate that movement. And I can see you're just feeling it out, right? Which is a good thing to be doing. So once you see how when you come down, where your body position is on the descent.
Yeah.
So we're going to come down. I like the slow eccentric because what it's happening is it's allowing to get you in line. That's your position. How you came
Okay.
down and finished. That's where we want it. It kind of changes because you're thinking, you're feeling, you're moving around. But how you come down, I want you to use this video as a guide and compare. So even if your first rep is a little out of line, I want you to take that when you come down after the first rep. I want you to try and maintain that position, rebrace, and drive from that position. Because
Okay.
right here, this all looks great.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yes, sir. She's back and she's deadlifting this time.
I tried to correct my form for the Arnold Fitness Test challenge and deadlifting. So Jen give me some advice.
So you're a little low. Your knees look like they're past the bar. So it's the if you remember the people earlier that I was talking about were starting too low and almost a clean and jerk position. That's kind of where you're at. So what we want to do is we want to bring your butt up to suck your knees back so the bar doesn't have to go around your knees, and you're actually going to get more hamstring and glute out of this. So it's going to be a better starting position for you. Not that this is inherently wrong, it's just not optimal. I mean, your back looks great. I like where your spine, that neutral spine is. But we just want to bring your butt up a hair so your knees come back and that bar goes right up against your shins. Because you're over the bar, but you're just not where your body could be making the most power. So again, this is just a little bit of optimizing for you. Your body definitely does squatting feel more natural for you?
Yeah.
You can always tell. Everybody's got that one lift where it just doesn't feel natural as the others. Everyone has like one that just is easier for them. And that's totally okay. Your body is trying to squat your deadlift is what's happening. And that's what stood out to me. Your squat position and your deadlift position are very similar. So we just need to bring your butt up, bring your knees back, bring that bar in, and go from there. So just work on that and get some videos for me for the next one, and we'll see where you're at.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Can't hear you, Ben.
Oh, just me waffling on. My garage pile of shame in the background.
So these are flies you're going for here?
Yes. I've never been sure of them, so here we are.
How does that weight feel difficulty-wise?
By the end, it was awful. But at the beginning, I thought maybe I needed to increase, but I couldn't finish the reps. I got 9. I wanted 12. It's only
these are pretty good. What I would try and do is maybe drop the weight just a little bit so we can get. I want you to imagine like you're hugging a barrel. So as you, I'm gonna try and do this so you can see where I'm at. So if I'm starting at the top, I'm gonna pull them apart, right? And I have a nice proud chest, and range of motion for these is kind of person to person depending on mobility, because we do want that nice stretch at the bottom, but we want to pull apart and then we want to squeeze together. You're kind of coming down and coming in into almost a press position, but you're like this. So that's creating more shoulder torsion, which we don't want. We want your back and lats, just like a press, and the bicep tendon is bearing load on these. But as you come down, yes, there is bend, but we want to arc out and around and squeeze. So we're not pressing out of the hole and pressing out. We're hugging that barrel, right? We're creating a nice semicircle, and then we're squeezing them together. How you finish is great. It's where you're landing at the bottom because you're kind of coming in, probably because of the weight. So I want you to maintain that nice big arc, like you're trying. Envision hugging a big old barrel.
All right. I'll add that to my notes. Thank you.
Yes, sir. These are just crunches. Nothing fancy here. Yeah. I mean,
like I was trying to like to focus on like the tension of the lower back, but like I don't know if like if it's like the right form like to do like crunches.
yeah, I mean, that's a crunch. It's like the start of a sit up. So um don't really think about the form in your lower back because the floor is there to brace. You can't really get out of position with your lower back. But as you crunch and you roll up, I want you to think about like not necessarily bringing your elbows to your knees, but try as you come up, raising the top half of your back off the floor. So it's kind of you're up and you have this little kind of like finishing pop to get a little bit more out of the crunch. And you'll probably feel it go down through your abs a little bit more, like you're trying to lift your upper half off the floor, and you won't ever actually be able to because of just the dynamics of leverage. But that's the input I want you to try and have.
Okay, thank you.
A little bit out of frame here, but I think we can work with it.
Everybody, I'm going to bail on you because my son is awake and shaking his camera. So I'll let Nic finish up. He's going to break his camera if I don't leave. So have fun, everybody. I'll let Nic do all these form checks and we'll get this uploaded to the article after.
Shocker, your kid's a menace.
Who's surprised?
Noah, can you restart that? So too far forward, knees are past the bar. So, which is creating that lower back being out of position. So we're going to suck our knees back. Again, push that belly button to the floor so your hips come back and out and you get glute tension and it creates a nice neutral lumbar. And then we're bracing into that and maintaining that lumbar position. Very common deadlift setup issue, but it's nothing that absolutely nothing that can't be fixed. And again, I don't even think this is a weight issue. It's just body positioning. That's all. There's a big thing with spatial awareness and your body's position in space when it comes to a lot of this. And people, that's really the big learning curve with people that are new to lifting or people lifting in general that haven't really learned is understanding that spatial where your body's at in space and knowing what that feeling is when you're in the right position versus the wrong position. And that just takes time and reps. So we want to roll those hips back, kind of arch that back a little bit, almost exaggerate it. So you feel with that flat, if you've ever been on your hands and knees and done cat-cow where you arch your back and like extend, we're going to call this extension, and then rolling your back so it's hunched like a pissed off cat, that's flexion. So we want to strive for that extension to maintain a neutral back position. Now that's what sucking those hips back is. And then when you push your knees back, that will elevate your hips naturally, and that will give you a better position, my man, for sure. Because again, you're almost trying to squat your deadlift a little bit, and we want to get much more posterior chain involved. So that's really it. You've got good upper back tension. We just need to dial in the lower part. Strong pull. Just need to optimize position. Bring those hips up, sucking those knees back. I mean, there's pounds on the table even where you're at strength-wise. It's just leverage. The constant game that is lifting. See how his hips rise right as the input leg drive? That's your body telling you where it wants to be. Next. I've always hated gyms with the flat, hexagon, whatever the geometric term is like you come down on one of those corners and wants to roll one way or the other. I've never understood why they did that. Double overhand. Bars out front. Back position.
Skipping for you guys?
Yeah, it's like all glitchy.
I'm not sure why that's happening.
It's all right. You've been killing it so far, Noah.
All right, let's see if this other video works. Eh? I love how my computer does this right at the end of the form checks. Oh, there we go.
So positioning looks pretty good. Again, we want to bring our hips up just ever so slightly. I mean, maybe an inch. We want to bring that bar in right up against your shins. You're traveling around your knees. It seems like a common theme today. But I think it's people, that's just a mental thing trying to get into position so your back's in good. So it's not necessarily, it's a good intention. Your head's in the right spot. We just need to get the execution. But you see how far away that bar is. And it gradually comes closer and closer because gravity is being gravity. So suck those knees back so your hips come up just an inch, not a big adjustment, and bring that bar up against. There's a reason why you see in powerlifting they have those socks, those high socks that they're forced to wear when they deadlift, because I have scars on my shins from the knurling, taking skin off my legs. So that's the input we need to get. We need to get that bar in, so your hips come up slightly, knees come back. Otherwise, your posture looks great.
That's what I was talking about earlier before we did the form checks.
So you want to bring your feet up closer. You see how you're struggling to stay on your heels?
Yeah.
Bring you over. Bring your feet closer to the bar. Get your feet more underneath your chest. Because if we look at where I'm going to use the crane reference, right? So if your feet are the base of the crane and your load is out here, it's going to make it harder. So what we're doing is we're bringing that base closer to the load, right? So it's going to give you a little bit more leverage, a little bit more control.
Okay.
How you set your back, I'd even argue to exaggerate, making that chest proud a little bit more. And that'll be easier by bringing your feet closer to your hands. Otherwise, you're doing these mostly correct.
Can you go to 22, Noah, quickly? It was a picture of the machine I was talking
Yeah,
about.
those-
I'm wondering if
those are
that would be
sweet.
better or
It's just a chest supported variation.
okay.
I am old school in this. I think those have a time and a place. You know, bodybuilders love those. I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but from a strength standpoint, the weak link in everything we do will and forever be our core. It will always be the limiting factor. So,
So better with the other.
when we're doing things with free weight and barbell, we're requiring to use our core. And what that's going to carry over to is things like squat, bench, deadlift, right? So taking your core out of things, in my opinion, hinders the overall gain of strength. When we're constantly using it, it has no choice but to get stronger. So even though when you're using a chest supporter row, you are bracing, but you're not getting the same usage out of your core. So where something like that on a T-bar row is going to carry over, especially squat and deadlift, that bent over position, right? So really focus on that as an opportunity to use that brace.
Great, thanks.
Yep.
And the last deadlift is after hearing comments on other videos from Jen. So the first video we saw was from last week. So this one I tried to pull my shoulders up to have that click. That's like the tension on the bar. That's what I was trying to focus, but I still feel like I always bend my like arch my back.
Yeah,
So
your inflection. First
I
thing,
really don't know how.
God,
Yeah.
I want you to bring that chin down. So like you're trying, it's like you're like, you hear me say, like you're walking with a broomstick up your ass. Like you're
Yeah.
right? So we want to lock that back down and create a nice level plane. And think about, you heard me say it earlier, push your belly button to the floor. So that cat cow position, your cow, your cat, we want to make a little bit more here, right? A nice neutral. And what you're going to feel is a stretch in those glutes and hamstrings when you get down in a position. I use that stretch. People emphasize mobility, right? This is where we use mobility as a cue. I use it as a cue. So when I pull in a position and I feel that tension in my hamstrings, a lot of times in my sport of strongman, we have to get to the bar while time's starting. Especially we have, say, like a deadlift medley, right? Where it's 5 bars, fastest time through. So I'm literally running to each bar, bip, bip, pulling in tension, going. So I've had to learn how to get in the position, how to cue myself in the position. And how this translates to you is I use that tension as my marker. I know what position feels like. So we want to use that tension cue where our hips push back, we feel that tension in our legs to know that, okay, everything's in position. And one thing you can kind of do is warm up with some sort of good morning movement. So you can feel that position and start with just the hinge. And then you can start by bending at the knee to feel what the rest of the deadlift position would feel like and feel and record it. Give yourself visual feedback. So you have a visual in your head of the feeling. And that's where the body spatial awareness and experience comes in, is you got to give yourself that information to make the connection neurally, right? So really bring that bar in close, get that lumbar straight, push that belly button to the floor so our hips aren't curled underneath of us. We want them more in anterior tilt versus interior tilt.
Okay, we'll work on that. Thanks, Nick.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we're done with all the form checks. So Nick, you can give a wrap-up statement, and then you guys can look for the recording in the YouTube channel as well as the newsletter. There'll be an article. Daniel will put it out.
Yeah, I love how regular you guys are submitting videos, and I like doing this. Like I say every week, I want to emphasize that. Don't feel like you guys are taking up my time. I love in the trench coaching. I'm a coach that hates writing programs. This is where I think the impact is made. It is being able to connect and actually get into so many apps out there, they feed people the work, and they don't actually, they're left to their own devices, and a lot of people don't stick with it because of that. They don't know if they're doing it right, or uh, there's such a problem with undercoaching today that uh the biggest turnoff for me when I was coaching uh full time before, being an athlete kind of took over my life, um, was I hated the monotony of writing the program, because a lot of people just want to pay $50, get the program, but then they have a million questions, but they didn't want to pay, for coaching. They paid for the program. So this allows me to do my favorite part every single week, and that is just get in the trenches and coach you guys no matter what the movement is, and it's fun for me. So don't ever feel like that, I submitted a bunch of videos last week, I can't this week. No, this is how I help you guys improve, is if you keep coming back, right? And if this turns into something that we do, that I do every week, I told Catch I'm cool with that. But he didn't want me to bite off more than I could chew. Once a week is not more than I can chew. So thank you guys for taking the time, recording, and doing all this stuff. And we're gonna get you there. We're gonna dial things in, no matter how long it takes. If I can get someone to do it with cerebral palsy that doesn't have control over the body, we can get you guys squared away. So it ain't no thing. If there's anything you guys want to see from a coaching side on when it comes to specifics, right? Not necessarily how to do my job. I know how to do my job. When it comes to your guys' needs, that's what helps me help you is communication. So specific needs like Amelie with footwear, things like that. Those little nuances to this. I don't want you guys overthinking. Ask the question. I'm here so you guys aren't left to your own devices, so you can ask the question. So don't hesitate. I like earning my paycheck, right? So you contributing is helping me, helping you, and I know recording stuff is kind of a pain in the dick sometimes when it comes to just trying to get through your workout. But if there's something that you're really not sure of, and if you've had 3 videos recorded this week, record that thing you have a question on. So I think we're going to keep trying these different times to hit all the different time zones, especially for you guys over in like Europe and in Australia and Asia and wherever you guys are hailing from. Even if we have to do, I'm gonna have the conversation where potentially maybe I can do these more often so we can hit more time zones more frequently. I'm good with that. Even if they can't be on, if Noah is willing to moderate, I know he's got a pretty full plate. Maybe he can even teach me how to do some of this stuff. But I am the caveman of the group. So is there any exiting questions? We're all good?
None from.
All right, guys. I'll catch you
Thank
guys next
you.
time.
Thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.